Hi, I'm Mark Ellison from 5 Daily Trivia Questions, and I've got some wickedly bad news for you. This week is Villains Week, where we'll be celebrating the most memorable antagonists from pop culture. Every day we'll focus on a different set of iconic villains, from James Bond's greatest foes to Star Wars' Dark Side, Disney's animated antagonists, Batman's rogues gallery, and horror's most terrifying monsters. I've got a villain question for you right now. Which James Bond villain had steel teeth and appeared in 2 films, The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker? Was it Odd Job, Jaws, or Blofeld? If you knew it was Jaws, then you're going to love what we have in store. And if you didn't know, well, there's no better time to learn about these unforgettable characters. Join us for Villains Week on 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Subscribe for free right now, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, sometimes it's good to be bad.
In Washington, D.C., power flows through information. But what happens when the most sensitive military intelligence in the world ends up on the wrong phone? In the halls of power, a national security advisor makes a fatal miscalculation. On the other side of the world, a special forces team walks into a perfectly orchestrated trap. When the dust settles, 4 American soldiers are dead, 3 more captured. And the most catastrophic intelligence breach in modern history is just beginning to unravel. Signal Lost, a 6-part podcast thriller about betrayal, courage, and the devastating consequences of a world where even our most guarded communications are never truly secure. When everyone is listening, nowhere is safe. Signal Lost. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where some poor doctor is going to have to claim Trump is in perfect health, this is Ballot.
That's right. It's annual physical time for the 6'3", 215-pound genius with perfect hair. Let's hit this. Good morning. I'm Patrick Gutfield, and we have breaking news from the billionaires are just like us, except when they're worse department. Elon Musk, the man currently helping dismantle our government while simultaneously building rockets, had a complete meltdown during a gaming livestream this weekend. Musk was streaming himself playing Path of Exile 2 from his private jet, which he claimed was an airborne continuity test for SpaceX's Starlink. Because when I think essential testing for satellite internet, I think boss fights at 30,000 feet. The world's richest man repeatedly died to the game's first boss. Not the final boss, not some hidden super challenging boss, the first boss. The one they designed for people who've never held a controller before. The gaming equivalent of the bunny hill at a ski resort. After 30 minutes of complete failure, Musk rage quit the stream. But the real entertainment was the in-game chat where players ruthlessly mocked him, saying he had no friends while also looking dumb and ugly. I've seen kindergarten playgrounds with more mature insults, but hey, sometimes the classics work best. This gaming disaster comes just months after Musk admitted to secretly paying talented gamers to build highly leveled characters for him to make it look like he was good at the game. That's right. The man running the Department of Government Efficiency couldn't even efficiently cheat at a video game. Vice President J.D. Vance's wife Usha just gave her first interview since becoming second lady, and apparently being married to the vice president can be very lonely. Not as lonely as being married to the actual president, where you communicate exclusively through lawyers and separate residences, but still pretty lonely. Usha Vance told the Free Press that JD relies on her as his closest advisor, with the pair discussing the news in their Naval Observatory residence, which suggests she's the one who had to explain to him that Europe is actually our ally, not our enemy, after his disastrous Munich Security Conference speech. Usha said, "I don't know that he's asking me for advice, so much as it can be a very lonely, lonely world not to share with someone." Translation: My husband keeps texting me questions like, is Greenland the one with ice or the one with Vikings? And I have to respond while on conference calls. The couple met at Yale in 2010 when they joined a discussion group on social decline in white America. How romantic! Other couples meet in bars or dating apps, but these two bonded over depressing sociological trends. Their first date must have been magical. So, what do you think about the collapse of manufacturing jobs in Ohio? Want to split an appetizer? Last month, the Vances were booed while attending a concert at the Kennedy Center in Washington. Usha insists they weren't bothered by the booing, complaining instead about media bias and imagined narratives. It was about 20 or 30 seconds of some people booing and delaying the start of the concert, which, coincidentally, is also how J.D. Vance describes the January 6th insurrection. When asked what it's like to be an Indian American woman in MAGA land, which her interviewer described as full of blondes and Botox and facelifts, Usha said, "I'm laughing because it would be really hard for me to be blonde. That color would look totally absurd." Usha has let her hair go gray and even appeared at last year's Republican National Convention without makeup, which is brave in any political setting, but especially in a party where the standard for women's appearance was set by someone who thinks natural look means only 3 layers of foundation. Breaking news from the Do As I Say, Not As I Fly department. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was spotted getting cozy in first class on a JetBlue flight from New York to Las Vegas on March 19th. That's right, she was spotted by another passenger while traveling to a rally with Bernie Sanders titled "Fighting Oligarchy." You can't make this stuff up. She's literally flying first class to a rally called "Fighting Oligarchy." That's like showing up to a PETA fundraiser wearing a full-length mink coat while eating a veal sandwich. The passenger who took the photo claimed AOC didn't respond to friendly comments once she sat down. Maybe she was too busy calculating how many economy seats you could fit in the space of one first-class cabin. The answer is a lot, which is also how many working-class voters could have fit in her seating area. According to our source, a passenger named Tracy from Brooklyn who was sitting in economy, and I quote, "AOC is fighting the system one first-class mimosa at a time." Now that's what I call democratic socialism with a twist of orange. A first-class JetBlue seat on that same route costs upward of $1,100. But hey, who's counting? Well, besides the IRS and campaign finance regulators, AOC's office declined to comment. Probably because their mouths were full of those little warm first-class nuts they serve you. At the rallies afterward, AOC declared, "We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too." And by fights harder, she apparently means upgrades your seat assignment. Ever notice how the villains often steal the show? All this week, 5 Daily Trivia Questions celebrates these scene stealers with a special Villains Week event. Host Mark Ellison will take you on a journey through the fascinating world of antagonists, from the methodical Hannibal Lecter to the magical Maleficent, the calculating Moriarty to the chaotic Joker. What, no electric car manufacturers? Each day brings 5 new questions about the characters that push our heroes to their limits, and sometimes make us question which side we're really on. Whether you're a pop culture expert or just appreciate a good antagonist, Villains Week offers something for everyone. It's the perfect blend of entertainment and education that 5 Daily Trivia Questions is known for. It's Villains Week on 5 Daily Trivia Questions, available wherever you get your podcasts. Because sometimes it's good to be bad. Tired of doom scrolling? Want news that won't make you want to live in a bunker? Check out 5 Good News Stories, where they find the silver lining in a world that's usually lined with something much less pleasant. The gang at 5 Good News Stories dig through the headlines to find 5 stories that prove humanity hasn't completely lost its mind. It's pretty much the opposite of this show. From scientific breakthroughs nobody's talking about to random acts of kindness that restore your faith in humanity, all delivered with the cutting wit you deserve. 5 Good News Stories, because sometimes the news doesn't have to suck. Subscribe to 5 Good News Stories wherever you get your podcasts. Jessica Simpson has a secret to her singing voice that's causing quite a stir. The singer recently revealed how she's kept her vocals so strong all these years, and I promise you're not ready for this answer. In an Instagram video, Simpson attributed her vocal longevity to some kind of Chinese herbal beverage recommended by her vocal coach. And what's the secret ingredient in this magical elixir? Snake semen. Yes, you heard that correctly. Snake semen. Now, when most people want to improve their singing, they take lessons or drink tea with honey. Jessica Simpson went straight to "I'll have what the snake is having." And she's doubling down. When TMZ caught up with her at LAX on Sunday, this 44-year-old woman vowed to continue drinking it. She said, "It just really clears my throat. I'm just a great singer when I have some." She even described the taste. According to Simpson, it tastes like honey, but like a really dark honey. You know what? I don't think I needed that detail. That's information I could have happily lived my entire life without knowing. President Trump is headed to the doctor, everybody. Trump announced on Truth Social that his long-scheduled annual physical examination is booked for Friday at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. He wrote, "I have never felt better, but nevertheless, these things must be done." Sir, your blood pressure is so high it's technically considered a weapon in 7 states. I bet the doctor's office has a special scale for presidents that automatically subtracts 20 pounds and adds 2 inches of height. Congratulations, Mr. President. According to our presidential scale, you're 6'8" and weigh the same as a professional ballet dancer. And maybe the doctors will even prescribe snake semen. Portions of today's show were made with the help of snake semen, AI, and AOC.